Hey guys, Nandini Karmarkar here. Welcome to the Craftread YouTube channel. I'm here today with a beautiful project featuring the Anemone 3D decoupage sheets, and I'm going to show you how to transform an empty glass bottle into a beautiful piece of home decor. So let's get started. I'm going to be using this glass bottle for my 3D decoupage today as the base, and the first step to with this is to cover this with gesso so that I can go ahead and paint it. I have this plastic sheet which I like to put on my table to protect it. So I have the bottle here. I have soaked it in water to remove the label and then thoroughly scrubbed it, and after that I dried it for a couple of days so that there's no water inside. And I'm going to use some white gesso. I'm going to use a sponge. I couldn't find my sponge robbers, so this is basically what we use in the kitchen. And I'm just going to cut this into smaller pieces. Just a sec, I think I need a stronger scissor. So I'll just cut this into 4 pieces. Otherwise, it's easier to use the sponge robbers which you get along with your mixed media supplies. But in a crunch, these work just fine. So let me put these aside. I'll just take some paste on my plastic sheet. I'll also add a little bit of water to it because it's a little too thick. When you're using mixed media paste or gesso, you can also tint it with colors. I'm not going to do that today because I intend to paint over that surface. So all that I need is to turn my transparent bottle opaque. And now I'll just take this and just start dabbing gesso on it. So now our bottle is ready. I've covered it with 2 layers of gesso. Now what I'm going to do is take the Cantaloupe Crush chalk paint by Craftread. You can see it here. It's a lovely peachy kind of a shade, and I'm going to cover the entire bottle with it. Now our bottle is dry with the first layer of color, and now I want to do some color blocking on this. Now let's start with the painting. I'll take some teal paint which I feel contrasts nicely with this peachy creamish color. And I'm just going to be very careful around the edges. I will of course be evening them out later, but till then I will very carefully sponge the color right up to the edge. You can also use a flat brush if you want. What I like to do is take out the paint little bit at a time. If you take out too much paint, sometimes you just end up wasting it. I'm just using the edge of this sponge to apply the color in a roundabout straight line. Now our basic color blocking is ready. The next stage is I'm going to do some stenciling on our bottle. So I have this beautiful 2-step plaid stencil. Now this stencil comes in 2 parts. And it basically fits, the one stencil fits perfectly over the other to give you a lovely plaid effect. So I will start with this part of the stencil. You can see this. Now this is a little bit tricky. You need to be careful that you attach the stencil firmly, because otherwise it will just slip out. So for that, make sure that you have plenty of masking tape at hand. So I have my roll of masking tape. I'm just going to tear off a bit of it and I'll just attach it here. Don't be stingy while using masking tape at this stage, because otherwise if your stencil is loose, it is just going to pop free at an inconvenient time and all your work will go waste. So then now my stencil is basically attached. I'm really pressing down the stencil firmly. If there is some damage to the painted surface, we can always retouch it later on. I'll just leave this to the side. Now I have some of the turquoise paint which I had taken out while I was touching up. So I just want the shade of stenciling to be slightly darker, just a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a touch of black to it. Whenever you're adding black paint, please be very careful. Add it very gradually because it's very easy for the paint to just become too dark. And you might have noticed I have this plastic container to the side. Normally when I'm painting and I have a lot of paint on my surface, I like to keep this plastic container handy. I just cover my paint with that and it stays wet for a longer time. That way I waste less amount of paint. Yeah, I'll just test this in this area. I think it's a little too dark. So what I'm going to do is add a little more turquoise color in it. But just remember, whenever you're mixing paint, you mix enough, because when you're creating shades by mixing two colors, there is a chance that if you don't mix enough, if your color runs out, it is very difficult to get the exact shade again. I think this should be enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my bottle very firmly in my hand and I'm going to take a sponge and gently dab the paint through the stencil. Now I don't want it to be like, a little bit, how should I put it? What I want is not to have it perfect, but a little here and there. You'll just see what I mean. So I'm just going to gently start dabbing it. Since this is a curved surface, just make sure that you get enough paint through the stencil, because again it's very difficult on a flat surface. You can always realign the stencil and repaint, but on this, a curved surface, aligning it becomes a little bit difficult. So there, I've finished. And now let's see. Make sure your hands are clean, because otherwise you'll get paint on everywhere. What you're getting, what we have is just a very light turquoise mesh. I will just put this back and just add a little paint, and there. You get a very subtle effect on this. And now I'll just remove the stencil very gently again and wash it, and I will let this area dry completely before I move on to the next stencil. Our masking fluid is dry now. When you apply the masking fluid, it starts off opaque and milky, and it dries to a clear finish, and it dries very fast. Now honestly, I'm not very happy with the way this plain area is looking. So what I'm going to do is do some streaks of color here. So I will take the base color which I use, which was the Cantaloupe Crush, a little bit of the chocolate chip, and I'm also going to bring in a little bit of pink and a tiny bit of a metallic pink. And now I'll take a sponge and I will just start applying the paint. Now since I've masked this area with the masking fluid, it will give me a sharp edge here. I don't have to bother even if the paint goes on this area. So I'm just going to dip it a little bit in the brown and just start applying. I'll switch to my brush now and just apply slight streaks of the paint. I think this is turned a little too muddy, so I'll just apply some more. Cantaloupe Crush there, and I'll also take a fresh sponge. These sort of backgrounds are fun to make because there's no real right or wrong way in making it, and you can just keep going over the areas till you're happy with the look. And then my sticky background is ready. I'll leave this to dry now. Now our paint is completely dry, so let's remove the masking. It's super easy. You just start pulling at it and it just peels off like a skin. Just be gentle with it because you don't want to take off the paint while you're doing it. In case you're using a paper, you can also use an adhesive remover, the eraser, or you can use a normal eraser gently. Don't worry about these ragged edges because we'll be covering them up later with a border. So here our bottle is ready. I'm going to just add a little bit more stenciling on this side, and then our background will be mostly finished. Let's continue with our bottle now. We've already put this very subtle stenciling on it. Now I'm going to use the same stencil, only offset it a little bit. For that I just need to align it with my previous so I just move it up a little bit and move it to the right a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to hold it tightly. Not really going to stick it down or anything because I want a very little bit of subtle effect on this. And then I'll take a little bit of the sparkle paste and start applying it through the stencil. Now I'm taking care not to go near the cream areas, and I'm just pushing the paste through. I need to be a little careful with the paste because my container is almost over. So I'm just gathering it up on my palette knife and just applying it. The one good thing about this product is it goes a long way. In hindsight, I think it would have been better if I had just attached the stencil, but it's okay, we'll manage this time. Okay, that's quite enough. I just want a little bit more on this corner. I'm concentrating more on the sides because that is a part which is really going to show. The middle of the stencil, most of it is going to be covered. And there. So now let's leave this to dry while I go and wash my stencil, and we'll continue. These are the flowers which we are going to use for the 3D decoupage. This is the anemone flower, and originally this thing was arranged something like this, and with a smaller flower on the side. I've already shared the picture of the original frame with you, of the original paper with you. The thing with 3D decoupages, you can always cut the design apart and put it together in a more interesting manner. What I realized was that this bottle that I'm using was not tall enough to take the design as was. So now what I'm basically planning to do is put this flower here, and the other flowers will be scattered around. So feel free to do that. Don't get stuck by the constraints of the design, and just experiment, move things around. I've also cut the butterflies apart. There are 2 butterflies in this set. There is a large one and there is a tiny one which was sitting on one of the flowers. So once I have placed my flowers where I want them, I will place these butterflies also. So let's put these away. This is the other sheet which has the parts of the flower which need to be popped up with foam tape. So I will just basically cut these apart and then finish fussy cutting them, and then we will start with a 3D decoupage. It is also a good idea while you're cutting them apart, if you can just sort of mark them behind with which layers they are, because sometimes it gets a little confusing, especially when the shapes are very similar to each other. So this is the A set, the B set, this is C, these 2 are the C's, and these 2 are the butterflies. So I will just go off camera and finish cutting them, and then when we come back we can start with the 3D decoupage. Okay, now all our pieces are cut. All these various pieces have been cut. Now we need to shape them But before that, I have a little trick that I have discovered. What I do is, if you take a close look at these, sometimes there are little white areas which remain. You'll see it here. These white areas show up when you eventually put your project together. So what I've discovered is, if you just lightly ink them with distress inks in the shades which match with your paper, that white area stays hidden. I have a couple of small brushes here, and I have taken a pink color, which is abandoned coral, which is close to the petals of the flower, and peeled paint, which is a basic green, which I felt matched with the foliage on this. So this is pretty basic inking. I have an old magazine here which I use whenever I am inking, to place at the bottom of my paper. And I will just get all the pieces. Firstly, the ones which have green on it. And then I'll just start brushing the green ink on top. You need to be a little careful when you're doing this, because if you're too hard with the paper, you might just start tearing it. So just do it, just dab the ink on a little bit. Your main aim is just to cover the white areas so that they don't show up very starkly once your 3D decoupage is done. Green color is done. I'll just go back and do it again for the pink flowers as well. Just do it very lightly, because otherwise you'll start changing the color of your paper, of your flower, which is not what we want. Once my inking is done, I'll just leave these pieces to dry for a little bit, because I don't want the ink to smear. And then I'll go ahead and shape them with my ball tool. And I always have this one small basket in which I just drop the pieces which I'm done with, because I don't want to lose any of these. Some of them are really tiny, as you can see. All my pieces are inked and ready now, so I'll just leave them to dry for a bit, and then I'll come back and start shaping them. Now flowers are all cut, and I've inked the parts where a little bit of white was showing. All the sides are inked, and now we are going to take the first layer and put it on a bottle. So for that, what I'm going to do is, first I will turn my flowers over and just put a little bit of decoupage matte medium on it. Now this is a slightly textured surface, so I need a strong adhesive to hold it in place. And I'm using decoupage glue because I intend to cover the entire pot with this, the bottle with this, so that the paint and everything is protected. I'll just place it the way I want it and just lightly press it down. Now I'll take a little more glue here, and I'm just covering the entire paper with the decoupage medium. If there are any parts which are not sticking down, you can just add a little glue underneath like this, and then press it down with your brush. Let's put the other flower. Now I want to put it in a way that whatever the areas you see which are extending over the edge of the bottle, I can always cut them away later. And these lines, we will finish them later. I'm okay if the flower is actually extending over them. So now let's apply the medium on the second flower. Yeah. I'll just bring the bottle a little in the center on the camera. I like to apply quite a thick layer of the decoupage medium so that my paper sticks down properly and there are no air bubbles left. I just press it with my brush to ensure that. I'm a little unsure of where to put this. I think I will put it above this flower. Just touching this flower in fact. There's already a lot of layer of glue on this, so I didn't apply any to the back of it, but I will be applying glue over the top of the small flower. Bottle is slightly curved here, so the paper is not lying flat, which is okay because anyways we are going to cover that area with layers of the 3D decoupage. I'm just making sure that I've managed to cover the entire surface and that there are no little bits and ends, opening and just poking out. You can see that. Now this is going to be the basic diagram over which we will build a 3D decoupage. I'm going to leave this to dry completely and then we will come back and start doing the... Let's start with shaping our pieces now. I have a mouse pad here and a ball tool, and these are all the papers which I have already fussy cut. For shaping, what you need to do is you take the piece and you just apply pressure either from behind the paper or from front of the paper. Now since I see a flower as being a cupped shape, I'm going to apply the pressure in the front. Just move your ball tool in circular motions. Once the center is inside, I'm going to go back and start curling the petals behind. Just be gentle with your paper because if you exert too much pressure, there is a good chance that your paper will crack or tear. Though the Craftree sheets, the paper is very high quality and it is very strong, so you'll find that it curls very easily without really showing any signs of wear. The little leafy foliage which is coming out, that also I'm going to shape it slightly. So in the end you get a rounded shape, which is what we are looking for. We have to do this for all our shapes. The very tiny pieces, I'm going to shape them later. And I also have the butterflies which I will shape later because I haven't yet decided where exactly I want to place them. So I will put these pieces away now, and now we can start assembling our 3D decoupage. Now that our bottle is ready, you'll see that the layer of decoupage medium that I applied is completely dry. And we've also finished shaping all our papers. So now let's continue and get down to the actual decoupage work. Now basically what 3D decoupage involves is placing layers of paper on top of each other which are popped up by some foam tape. You can also use silicone glue if you want. That also works very well, but today I have foam tape handy, so that is what I'm going to use. And what we need to do is basically start putting it on the back of the paper. So I'll cut a longer strip first, and then I'll start cutting the foam tape into smaller pieces and placing it. Whenever you're doing this, just make sure that none of the tape shows through on the front side. Also, our bottle is a curved surface, so we have to make sure that we curve the paper as we put it. You'll see what I mean while I'm doing it. So now I'm going to carefully place the second piece on top of the first one. I also need to put some really tiny pieces on the stem because otherwise the stem will be hanging loose and we can't have that. Now one trick for very thin strips of foam tape is if you remove both the the release papers, and if you stretch it, the foam tape will stretch and become slightly thinner. You can also turn it around. So that's what I'm going to do here. This is something which you have to do very carefully because you don't want the tape to be showing through, and it is very sticky to handle. So do it very gradually and very carefully. I'll put another small piece here. I'll repeat the process. I cut a very thin strip of the foam tape. I remove the release paper, and then I just stretch it as much as I can. If you have little pieces coming out, you can always place them on the tips. So I'm starting with the stem, aligning it, and then I'll be aligning the petals. I'm just making sure that the curvature of the bottle is maintained. And here, this is the first layer is done. Now these petals which are hanging away, I'm going to, in the case of the bottom layer, I had stuck them down, but these I'm going to just curve slightly. This is the second layer. Again, I'm cutting a very thin strip of the foam tape for the stem. This is thin enough to go on its own, so I'm not bothering to stretch it out. The secret to getting a good 3D decoupage is to put lots of bits of foam tape so that the whole thing gets a lot of dimension. While working with foam tape, just make sure that before you press it down finally, that the placement is correct, because once it sticks, once you press it down, it is not going to move and your paper will tear. Now this part of the paper, I'm just simply going to cut it away. Now this portion of the flower, I've cupped it quite a lot, so I'm just going to apply a small piece at the bottom because I want the flower to rise up against the bottle. And these pieces which are coming in the way, I will just tuck them down. So this is our second layer done. Now this is the third layer, which basically comes like this. Now for this again, since I want it to be cupped, I'll just cup it a little more. I also want the petals to be cupped slightly. So I'm adding a little extra pressure there. And then I'm using a thin brush to just curl back the tips of the petals slightly. After that, I'm going to take a small squarish piece of the foam tape and I will apply this to the center. See, this is the third piece. I marked all my pieces, especially the tiny ones, so that I know which piece goes where. So this is C, this and this both are C. So I know that this piece goes here. I haven't shaped it as yet, so I will just use my ball tool. Just take care of your smaller bits of paper. I keep saying that because you lose one and your project is going to look unfinished. So I'm going to put a small bit of foam tape on this piece. Now I find that this petal is a little loose, it has one more petal on it. So I'm going to reinforce it. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a thin strip of foam tape. I'm going to cut that strip into half and then just attach it. Now this is a double height foam tape this will anchor my petal as well as give it a little extra height. So I just slip it underneath and I press the petal on top. I'm going to reinforce these petals also similarly. Our basic 3D decoupage is done now. Now I'm just going to put some finishing touches, and one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this twine and just cover this part of the bottle with the twine. So for that, what I will do is take a little bit of the glue and apply it at the point where I'm planning to start sticking the rope in. I'm not putting too much, and I will just press my rope into it and then basically start binding it around the bottle. This is a super easy way of adding some extra texture to your project, and I always love the look of rope because the color and the texture both give it a very nice look. So now I'm just going to keep doing this. Just keep pushing the rope a little bit so the gaps between are not too long, too large, but don't push it too much also, otherwise your rope will get bunched up and that doesn't look very good. Make sure you keep a constant tension on the rope so that it doesn't fall loose. You can also keep adding little dots of glue periodically so that your rope will keep sticking to the bottle. So here I've finished binding it. I'm okay because a little bit of the teal is showing through. That is okay with me. Now I'll just snip off this end, then apply some glue here. I applied some glue at the back and then just press my rope into it. Now one thing you can do to ensure that your rope doesn't come out or start unraveling is just put some glue absolutely into the end of it, plenty of it, and then press it down. And here, my rope part of the embellishment is done. Just press this down a little more. Now the next step is I'll be putting some sequins on it because I need to cover these areas which are looking very untidy. So for that, what I'm going to do is I found this cute bronze sequins which also I think take off from the color of the rope, and I'm just going to put dots of glue and start sticking them. These will basically cover the seam between the two colors, and I thought these look almost like little bronze metallic studs. Just make sure you have a nice puddle of glue because these are cup sequins, so they need to stick properly, and to ensure that you will need to make sure that there is enough glue. So I'll just go ahead and complete this. Okay, now most of our bottle is ready. The 3D decoupage is almost done. I've finished putting the rope around the neck. I also put these sequins so that the borders between the two color blocks are masked. And I put some bronze beads on the neck of the bottle to finish it. Now the last thing I want to do is, I felt that these flower centers looked a little too plain. So what I'm going to do is add some seed pearls there also. And I have this little packet of seed pearls which I got from the local market. And I'm going to take a few of them out. In the little bowl. And I'm going to use a 3D liner instead of a glue. So what I'll do is I don't want too many of them, just a little bit. So I will just put them in there. Once they're dry, I'll also shake off a little more of the excess. So now I'll leave this to dry. And the only thing left now is to put the last butterfly. So while this is drying, let's just do that. Okay, so now I have these pieces of the butterfly which I have shaped slightly, and what I plan to do is put it somewhere here like this, but I don't want to have the thing popping out too much over. So what I'm going to do is I'll just assemble the butterfly first, and then we will put it on the bottle. So I'm going to put a bit of glue here. And then what I will do is I will put some extra foam tape so that the wing basically rises up. I'll do the same thing for the next layer. I think I'll put another layer of foam tape here because the wing is not rising as much as I would like it to. So I'll just gently move the paper out and then have another thin strip of the foam tape. And I'll just put a small bit in the front too. Actually, a bit of silicone glue is helpful at this point because you can sculpt it a little more. Unfortunately, I don't have any at hand, so I will have to make do with my foam tape. And I'm just going to use plain glue to put it because otherwise I feel it will be too raised above the flowers, which I don't want. And there with that, our bottle 3D decoupage is done. I'll just leave it to dry now and then I'll share some photographs with you. I hope you enjoyed this project and enjoyed the video, and will consider giving these beautiful 3D decoupage sheets a try. I look forward to your comments on the video, and do share with me what else you would like me to cover in my videos. Bye.